Hello, beautiful people. You welcome to my channel. It's really funny, right? Hello, everyone. You're welcome back to my channel. If you're an old subscriber, if you're a new subscriber, my name is Okay, and you're welcome to my channel. If you like sewing content, fashion related content, yeah, this is the right blog. Yeah, this is the right blog. You're welcome back to my channel. You're welcome to my channel. Today is going to be, it's not a tutorial video. I'm creating a series called fashion series. It's a fashion series, so the playlist will also be fashion series. So we'll be talking about fashion related topics like how to become a fashion designer, what are the do's and don'ts, how to run a business, cost pricing, the rest, anything related to fashion and business. That's what we're going to be talking about. And today, this is the first episode or the first topic in our fashion series, and we'll be talking on how to become a fashion designer. So if you see me looking down, like I jot some things down, so that's why I'm looking down too, so I won't talk out of point, right? So if you see me looking down, that's what I'm doing. So our topic today is how to become a fashion designer, how to become a self-taught designer, whatever thing that you want to know to be a successful fashion designer. The first step, how to become it. This is the topic I'll be treating today. So the first thing to do to become a fashion designer is attending a fashion school. I know this topic or this subject cannot be overemphasized. You need to attend a fashion school. Yeah, for those that say, oh, I don't have the finances to attend a fashion school, don't worry, I got you covered. I'll talk about that later. So for a fashion school, if you have attended a fashion school or if you're aware of a fashion school, we have three: the beginners, the intermediate, and the advanced level of a fashion school. So if you don't have any idea, you will have to start from the basics. And it's not everybody. For people that are already used to freehand, if you go to a fashion school, they are using, let's say, Natalie Bray, pattern drafting. They have different types of pattern drafting. You will have to start from the basics, or they will do a foundational course for you, because they obviously have a routine in how they have the style in how they cut their clothes there. So you will need to start from the scratch. So why I will recommend you to go to a fashion school is the first stage. Let's call a tape. If you love sewing, or if you want to become a fashion designer, or if not, like you want to become it, like even though you want to run a fashion school, a fashion business professionally, you want to sew for your daughters, you will need to learn what body measurement is. You will need to learn what tape is, how to take tape measurements, and you need to learn basic measurements, how to cut a blouse. Of course, there are tutorials on YouTube on that. I'm not disputing that. Yes, I will be having a video for people that want to watch tutorials on how to grow on YouTube. Yes, I'll be mentioning some designers' name, and they are going to help you. That's going to be another topic on its own. So as we're saying, in this fashion school that you need to attend, as a basic level, at the basic level, you will need to know those terms and how to use them. And if you don't go to a fashion school, how are you supposed to use them? How do you know them? So it cannot be overemphasized. If you don't have money to go to a fashion school, the next level is doing internship and apprenticeship. So for internship, a fashion house or a fashion academy will want you to know the basics. But for apprentice, that means you are going to attach yourself to a fashion designer, meaning you are coming with no knowledge at all, and you have the flair to build yourself, your career in fashion. So they're going to help you. You can find apprentices around you in a fashion house, a shop, anywhere around you. You can meet them. Some of them will require you to buy drinks and biscuits, which is like, it's no more than 20,000 depending. right? Depending. Some won't even collect anything from you. They'll just tell you to buy your form, finish. But the other ones, that's what they will collect. Here in Nigeria, so if you're not watching from Nigeria, I'm talking about here in Nigeria. I don't know how apprentice or internship works outside this country. But for in Nigeria, that's what they require for you. Then the third step on you learning how to become a fashion designer, if you cannot go to a fashion school, you don't have where to do. Most people don't want to be apprentice because of how they treat some people. I can't I've not been there. So it's to learn online. Learning online is a broad topic on its own, and in each of my fashion series I'll be talking about it. Learning online has its do's and don'ts. Is sometimes it can be stressful, but for beginners, let's start from beginners level before we go to intermediate and advanced in learning online. It's more taxing for you as a beginner to learn online, because you will need to learn certain terms I said previously. So it's preferable if you can meet a fashion designer around you to teach you how to take body measurements, to teach you how to understand tape. You might just pay, let's say, a token. Some if it's your friend, good to go. Your friend can teach you for free. You pick up simple topics. You're not going to just, oh, I've seen this Vicky James putting on corset, I want to go and learn corset online. That is where failure used to start from. Corsets in fashion schools, they don't teach corset as basic level. They will teach you corset from intermediate to advanced. You will start with basic topics. I think I'll create a video on how beginners can search for topics, or topics for beginners to start from before you go to intermediate. There are topics that they won't teach you in beginners level in some fashion school, in most fashion schools. And I don't think people will be teaching you corsets because it is broad. If you cannot cut a basic bodice, what are you going to cut corset for? You end up wasting fabrics, waste materials, waste everything. So I would prefer that you start with basic topics. You know how to take body measurements. You start with making, let's say, apron, throw pillow. Those are basic topics that you can start from that will be helpful to you. Which other basic topic? How to take body measurements, how to I have a tutorial on bodies. You can search how to draft a bodice, how to make a basic bodice blouse, how to make basic skirts. So skirts, we have pencil skirts and flare skirts. Now if you learn how to cut the half circle skirt and the basic pencil skirt, you can actually work on it. Because if you cannot learn the half circle skirt, if someone is teaching you a full circle skirt, you will confuse. So all these are like basic topics: how to cut basic blouse, how to cut basic sleeve. You will first learn the sleeve before you go and learn the one that is moving like this. You will not just come and say, oh, is that one that I want to create that style. Basic people, beginners, please listen to this. Nobody's going to tell you free of charge. You are learning online. You're wasting your data. You're wasting your fabrics, because the thing that you go and learn in fashion school, I don't waste because you want to pay money and you don't have money. So you want to sit at home and learn them. You will not go and start doing advanced topics. Advanced topics are let's say for Kim Dave, she has certain pattern drafting that are advanced. If you don't start from the beginning, you'll be confused. Beginners levels, there is a beginners topic. It's not even more than 10 topics. Those are like, for example, if you can cut a bodice, you can cut a princess that because you know how to cut a bodice. You can cut a princess bustier because you know how to cut a bodice. You can cut a corset top because you know how to cut a bodice. You can manipulate a bodice because you know how to cut a bodice. That is the first topic, bodice. For sleeve, you can manipulate sleeve. So those are the things you should learn. You should learn to just make a simple bodice top. You see this gown I'm putting on? If you cannot cut a bodice, you can't make this gown. Let those call spade. You cannot make this gown. You have to learn how to cut a bodice on its own before you move over making a basic gown. So basic gowns are like Let's say if you can cut a bodice and cut a pencil skirt, you can make a pencil gown. If you can cut a bodice and a half circle skirt, you can make a half circle gown. Do you see as I'm putting it? You cannot just move from one topic. I say, oh, I've seen something that I will learn online. So that basic crafts. If you want to make money, then you make money with hairband. Those are like small tutorials to make money, but they're not like major sewing tutorials. And you have to be serious with yourself if you want to become a fashion designer. You have to get a sewing machine. If you have lights, I will advise you to get, and you don't have enough space, I will advise you to get a electrical sewing machine. So you can just put it on your table and run it, and when you're done, you can hide it somewhere. But if you have a bit of space, you can get a manual sewing machine. But if you have money, buy industrial sewing machine, because that one is investment. The first time I wanted to buy industrial, I know how much it is there. It was like 65. And imagine 65 at the time. I know how much I want to buy a sewing machine, industrial sewing machine, and how much it is now. Hey, that one is investment. You need to learn how to thread your machine. So when you get a machine, you need to learn how to thread your machine. You need to get papers, brown papers. Those are like patterns. You need to draft it before you cut it. So any mistake you need to make, you make it on a pattern. You can waste paper. You can use newspaper. It mustn't be pattern paper, because I think pattern paper now is expensive. In this Nigeria, everything is expensive. So those are like the basic things you would do. You won't just move from, okay, now people are trying to make trendy abaya, trendy kaftan. If you don't know how to take waist measurement, hip measurement, all this, how do you want to make a gown? You just want to watch the video and replicate. Some people are good, mind you. Some people are good, but instead of it not to waste fabric, I would advise you start from the least topic. And the least topic is, if you don't have people to teach you how to take body measurement, if you're watching this video and you would like a one-on-one tutorial with me on body measurement, it's going to be free. If you're watching this video and you get to this point, you can just send me a message at the Okogene is on Instagram. You can send me a message, and then we'll do a WhatsApp video call, and which I will teach you free on how to take body measurements. I have topics that are basic friendly. Now, if you want to sew a wrap top, you cannot sew a wrap top without knowing how to take a body measurement, how to draft a bodice, and you want to go and sew a wrap top. You see why people are wasting fabric. I've been there before, so I know what's happening. I learned basic. I went to a fashion school and I just finished basic level. I couldn't move to the intermediate and advanced. Kosovo. So the other things I learned how to make was researching online. Now let me tell you where you can learn online. You can learn by searching on YouTube, sewing tutorials on YouTube. You can learn sewing by watching sewing tutorials on YouTube. And it's not every sewing tutorial that is good for you. YouTube is a wide space. It's a big space. So there are people that create content for everybody, and they are not basic friendly, like beginners friendly. So you won't just go and watch them, because by the time they tell you, my shoulder is this, minus, what is this? Because you don't know the terms. And then you can actually search for styles on Pinterest. You can connect with fashion designers on TikTok, on Instagram. You know, all those things that you used to save on your phone. If you are determined, you can make it. Or I want to advise you can get calico. I don't know if some people are aware of calico fabrics. Those are like plain materials. You can replicate it first on that before you waste it on your fabric. But if you know you have fabric, you have money, you can buy those cheap 1.5 fabric to be from, like, you can start with that. You don't need to get to certain level as a beginner. I'm talking about beginners. Then you can also connect, you can also grow as a fashion designer with Skillshare app. It's where they meet professional designers. I don't know how people know. So there are ways that you can grow. It's not that you coming to YouTube, oh, I want to cut. See, if you can attach yourself to a designer and be an apprentice, fine. if you can go and learn the basics and you have the money, fine. It's not every body that is expensive. Now, for example, the level I've gotten to, I can teach, right? But I will still need to do upgrading course. And that upgrading course, I will still need to go and meet another fashion designer. And that fashion designer is still going to meet another fashion designer. So knowledge doesn't end one point. You won't learn basic and say, oh, I am done with learning basic. The knowledge, how would I call it? The class, as in you will keep, you won't want to just stop at one point. When people are learning certain style, you will still want to grow. You will pay to learn. So don't think because we are advising you, we're talking to you, we know everything. It's not like that. We don't know it to that point. We know that, okay, we can make this, we can make that, but there are certain topics that we need to still do research on. And sometimes we might pay. We might pay for it. And you know, there are topics there are things that you know as a beginner. To become a successful fashion designer, you need to know fabrics. You need to know what is cotton, different texture of fabrics and styles that you can use there for. And so those are what fashion schools actually they will teach you. And different states has the way they charge. There are places in Nigeria that you will learn fashion designing for like 40,000. It doesn't need to get like 50. But there are places in Lagos, you're gonna pay 120, 100,000, 150, and that's not your fabric. That's not the fabric you're buying. So, it's something that you can learn and you can grow. And if you want to be a fashion designer, if you want to run a fashion school, or if you want to run a fashion business, you're ready to wear whatever thing, you will still need to know the basics, because they will use you and play if you don't know the basics. So all these are still going to be required. And lastly, let me round off it with this. You are doing very well at this your level. Everything na time. You are doing great. I can tell you, I learned basic in 2016. I learned when I was in school. I learned when I was in year 3 in 2016. And compared to now, I know many things I've learned. And let me shock you. I learned sketching online. I learned sketching on YouTube. I learned, I could draw. I went to a class so I could draw the figure, fashion figure. But I learned coloring and everything on YouTube. So there's so many things that you can do, but you need to know the basics. That's the thing. If you know the basics, you can manipulate your way around it, and everything depends on you. If you know you don't want to build a brand on couture, you just want to build a ready-to-wear brand. There are styles that you don't really want to know because it's not your thing. It's just you figuring. If you know you want to build a swimwear brand, there are styles that you don't need to know. You just need to focus on where you are going to. Look at it directly. You need to know your destination. You need to know where you're going to before you can get there. Thank you for sticking with me in this video. Right, this is my first fashion series video. So the next one, I'll be talking on another topic to grow you as a fashion designer, as a beginner, as an intermediate, also as an advanced level. Thank you for watching. Please do not forget to subscribe to my channel, like and comment. You can also comment on what you think or tips on how to become a fashion designer. Thank you very much. Bye.